Okay, it's saying recording in progress, so I think we got it. And I'm gonna go ahead and mute you guys, all right? And I'll be on best behavior. It's being recorded. Okay. Right. And if anyone needs blocks, there are blocks in this one cabinet. Oh, yeah, I was just fooling. No, there's more blocks here, okay? If anyone needs them, feel free to grab those, okay? Yeah. It's everything I need, so. Oh, I'm glad to see the weights back in place. That's good. No bikes in the room. It's a strange Monday. Okay, so we're gonna find our most comfortable seated position. Brian, I don't know, you're it. I'm telling you, you're special. You maybe want to go get a lottery ticket today. All right, so find your most comfortable seated position, whether it's crisscross applesauce, maybe it's sitting on a block. Maybe it just feels better to have a leg extended out. That's fine. Half lotus goes deeper into the hip if you can get that heel into that groin area. And man, if you can get this foot up here, that's full lotus, go for it. I don't know if I'll ever get there. I'll keep trying, but at home, it's my homework. All right, so we're pretending, see, we all have something we're working towards, right? All right, so we're gonna pretend we're up against an imaginary wall. The back of our head, both shoulders, bottom rib, both cheeks, all lined up against that imaginary wall. Take a big inhale through your nose. Think of filling your lungs. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Beautiful. Inhale through the nose, fill those lungs. With the exhale, think of fogging up a window. One more time. Inhale through the nose, fill those lungs. And with this exhale, let go of any stress you're dealing with. Now, close the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose, fill those lungs. Maybe a little pause at the top of that breath. And then think of slowing down the exhale. Once again, through the nose. Inhale through the nose, fill those lungs. Little pause. Slow down the exhale, trying to lengthen that exhale. Don't go to the point where you're gasping for air. Just immediately find that next inhalation so that you basically find your flow and rhythm of breath. And with that next inhale, think of reaching through the crown of your head, lengthening the spine. And on the exhale, think of opening up the chest and allow the shoulders to roll down your back. Inhale, see if you can feel that rib cage expand wide, east and west. And then exhale, think of funneling the waist and press your sit bones down into your mat and in towards each other. Inhale, reaching through the crown and lengthen. Exhale, broad collarbones. Inhale, rib cage expands. Exhale, think of lengthening that waist. Press those sit bones down and in. Hopefully you have found your rhythm of breath. You have found your spinal alignment. We're going to strive to keep both of these throughout the practice, and that breath can be a wonderful guide. Use it with every pose. Make sure you can take that full, long, deep breath in every pose that you choose. Take notice the benefits of this type of breathing. It lowers your heart rate, lowers your blood pressure, lowers your cortisol levels. It also oxygenates your blood. You've got more oxygen readily available to transport your nutrients, your antibodies, and flush out toxins. So it helps nourish, cleanse, and even heal the body on that microscopic level. So let's do the same thing with our thoughts. Cleanse our thoughts. Welcoming positive, pushing away negative. So perhaps welcoming happy memories over the last few days. Let it drift in and out of your consciousness. Push away any worries, any concerns. Perhaps being grateful for living in this beautiful state of Colorado with our gorgeous mountains. Push away any list in your head. You don't need that right now. And I always like to start the practice by bringing to mind at least one person that I'm grateful to have in my life. Maybe dedicating this practice to that person, saying them good thoughts. Push away any thought of competition. Yoga is not about competition. And imagine as if the ventilation system in this room sucks up any negative energy, carries it out of the room, leaving us with an open, peaceful, grateful heart. So let's go ahead and change the crossing of the legs. And now with that next inhale, reaching through the crown of the head, lengthen the spine on the exhale. See how far you can turn your head to the right. And inhale, bring it center. And exhale, see how far you can turn your head to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Hold that full rotation of the cervical vertebra to your right. And you think of softening the tissue in the neck and throat, shoulder, and up into your scalp. With your next exhale, just gently tuck that chin. Inhale, slowly lift it to that neutral starting position. And exhale, as you do that again, take notice of that increased stretch at the base of the skull. Inhale, lift it. And one more time. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, left. Bring it center. And then rotate to the other shoulder. So now it's rotation to the left. And just take notice if one feels tighter than the other. Soften the tissue in the throat, the neck, scalp, shoulder. With your exhale, tuck the chin. Inhale, lift to neutral. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, left. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, left. Bring it center like you're pouring water out of the top of the head. Here comes to shoulder. Inhale, left. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left. Exhale, lower, ear to shoulder. Be careful that you're not shrugging the shoulder up, okay? And then inhale, left. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, center. Exhale, lower. Let's hold that lateral flexion of the neck. Place the opposite hand, the left hand, down into your mat. And then maybe the right hand resting on temple area, left temple area. Now I don't push down, but I will think of letting my arm go heavy. Feel that kind of yin yang thing going on. Opening up the side neck muscles now. And then inhale left, releasing the hands, exhale lower left ear to left shoulder, press the right hand down into the mat, and maybe it feels okay to place the left hand on the right temple area. Think of letting that arm go heavy. If that feels too intense, remove that top hand, it's okay. Just opening up those side neck muscles, scalene muscle group they're called. And inhale left, exhale that breath away. We're going to open up the chest. Inhale, fingertips face the wall behind us. Think broad collarbones, maybe gaze up. And then exhale, tuck the chin, round your spine. Reach for opposite knees with your hands. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine, reach for opposite knees. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, lift and open. And exhale, tuck the chin, around the spine, reach for those opposite knees, and let's hold this pose. So you're reaching as far as you can for those opposite knees. I do have my chin tucked so the crown of my head is facing the mat. Now with your breath, see if you can move the ribs right between your shoulder blades towards the ceiling. Almost like a little mini cat pose. And it's kind of one of those cool things with yoga that you can get an added stretch by just exaggerating that breath, right? Feel that opening in upper back and shoulders. And then inhale, lift and open. Let's hold this position. Now, if neck extension doesn't feel good, don't add it. You can keep it right here, okay? But think of getting rid of any roundness in the shoulders. That's something that we're all getting guilty of doing, right? Holding our phones or tablets. Open up those shoulders, that broad collarbone, right? And now with the breath, think of moving the chest bone, your sternum, towards the ceiling. Now let's release. And we're going to come into our spinal twist. This is where I kind of change my position, so it's easier for you to follow, I find. Left hand on right knee, right arm behind. Inhale, spine long, and exhale, find your rotation. Abdomen opening, ribs, chest, clavicle. Head is the last to turn. How does it feel to add a little gentle pressure with that left hand against the right knee? And then check and see that the shoulders are down the back. Check in with your breath. You're not forcing past what I call your edge, right? Inhale, bring it center. Exhale that breath away. Right hand to left knee, left arm behind. Inhale, spine long. Exhale, find your rotation. Abdomen, ribs, chest, clavicle, collarbone. Head is the last to turn. Shoulders down the back. See what it feels like to add that little gentle pressure. Breathe. And release. Let's come up to all fours. So if you need a little cushioning for your knees, all you have to do is kind of double fold your mat and you've created a little more cushion for the knees, okay? So feel free to do that. Hands in line with shoulders, knees in line with hips. Let's start with our gaze forward. Here's our inhale. And then on the exhale, tuck that tailbone under and start rounding the spine, tuck the chin at the end for cat pose. Inhale, reaching through the crown of the head, shine the heart forward for cow. Exhale, cat pose is spinal flexion. Inhale, cow pose is spinal extension. So we're taking our spine through its full range of motion in this plane of movement. In cat pose, we think of lifting the upper back. And in cow pose, we think shining the heart forward. Notice in cat pose, the sit bones face your mat. And in cow pose, the sit bones face the back wall. Exhale, cat. We'll do one more full round of breath. Inhale and exhale. Let's bring that right foot forward and between the hands, knee in line with ankle. Left forearm on right quad, hands to sacrum. We hinge forward, our gaze is towards that gym wall. This is our starting position. To go deeper, the elbow comes to the outside of that leg, adding more torso rotation. Bringing the hands together in prayer adds on a balance factor. And then you're going to line the elbows up with each other, shoulders maybe, lifting abdomen off of quad. Each one of those are steps to go deeper. If it doesn't work for you, don't worry about it. And then let's gently release, and we'll bring that right knee back and that left foot forward, right between the hands. Right forearm on left quad, hand to sacrum. We hinge and we rotate, gazing towards the cabinet wall. Right elbow to the outside, if that's okay. Hands together in prayer. And then notice as you line the elbows and shoulders up with each other, we get into a shoulder and hip opener, not just the torso rotation. And then lifting the abdomen, adding a little more core work. And gently release. We'll bring our left knee back and we'll bring our right leg out to the side. Right hand on right leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Elbow over the ear. So tendencies, this elbow wants to come forward. Try not to let that happen. We're trying to open up our side body. So this is still another way to open up our spine. This is lateral flexion of the spine. That arm is not flopping. It's energized. Breathe into the left lung that you're opening up. Inhale, left and lower. Right knee comes in, left leg comes out. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Elbow over the ear. Top arm energized. Breathe into that right lung. Beautiful, everybody. Inhale, reaching through the top fingertips. Bring that left knee in. All right. Now let's bring the right foot forward, but instead of right between the hands, bring it a full step in front of the hands. And now we're in our low lunge. Hips are square. Side body long. Lengthen the arms. Lean a little bit into this front leg. We don't have to worry about it going past our toes. We've taken that step forward. Quad pushes back. Tug the cheek under. Adding a gentle back bend if that feels okay. Opening up the hip, opening up the heart. If arms overhead does not feel good for you and your shoulders, hands can be down, but still think of this opening in the chest, okay? Because this is a pigeon pose, a form of pigeon, opening up hip and heart. Lowering the arms, we'll shift our weight back, coming on that front heel. And now we're either going to glide down that leg or hinge from the waist. Abdomen is close to quad. Hands can be on shin. They can be on blocks. They can be on your mat. This is modified pyramid pose. Once we're in our forward fold, tuck your chin. Think of the crown reaching towards the toes and notice how that takes stress out of the neck. We want to make sure that we have not shifted our weight over to our left leg. And this is pretty intense opening for our hamstring. Bring that right knee back and the left foot comes forward. Full step in front of our hands from the all fours. Hips are square, side body long and lengthened. Leaning into that front leg, quad pressing back, tuck the cheek under. Adding the back bend and breathe. Lowering the arms, shift your weight back, coming on that front heel, gliding down or hinging. Abdomen is close to quad, tuck the chin, crown reaching towards toes. Find the breath. Make sure you haven't shifted over to that right hip. And by the way, if it's a little too intense for your hamstring, because this is a tough one, bend the knee a little bit. It's okay. Still want to feel that stretch though. Bring that left knee back. We have found ourselves back into all fours. We're going to come into our first downward dog. Curl those toes under, and with your next exhale, lift the hips high and find downward dog. So I first concentrate on the sit bones lifting towards the ceiling. This can add a little added stretch for those hamstrings again. Now check in that all 10 finger pads are pressing down into the mat. Energized shoulders should be away from the ears. Instead, think of hugging those shoulders in towards center body, and then think of lengthening the torso, ribs lifting off the pelvis. Lower just your right heel down, and then lift the right, lower the left. That's that calf stretch, added calf stretch. And now let's pedal the feet out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And if it's available, lowering both heels down. Downward dog, stretching the entire posterior side of your body. If you get fatigued or dizzy in this or any other pose, always feel free to bring your knees down, but find your child's pose if you need it. Bend your knees, bring your gaze forward, walk your feet towards your hands, and let's find our forward fold or forward bend. I'm going to bring hand to elbow, hang like a rag doll. And this is where I like us to get acquainted with equal weight distribution in our feet. So think big toe, pinky toe of the ball of the foot, inner and outer heel, and then also find at least a micro bend in your knees. And if you need more to protect your back, bend your knees a little bit more. Kind of get acquainted with what's going to feel perfect for you in a forward fold. And then we're going to just gently sway those arms side to side. Feel how that aids in opening up the hips, hamstrings. Nice rocking for our spine. And with these heavy arms, it even gets the shoulders in a little different way. Stretch there. Bring the arms center, release the arms, bend the knees. Let's roll on up. Head is the last to lift. And we'll roll the shoulders back. Awesome. So we're ready to get into our standing postures. I'm just going to bring the camera over here. All righty. We're going to have our right foot facing the mirror wall. So what I do is I use the walls in my cues. This is mirror wall or front wall, cabinet wall, rear wall, and then wall behind us is the gym wall, okay? So right toes facing the mirror wall, left toes facing cabinet wall. Have your right heel in line with your left arch. And hands on hips, the hips are open to that cabinet wall. Float the arms up to 9 and 3, and then bend that right knee and find your warrior 2. It's called. So you determine how deep you go in your lunge. The deeper the lunge, the more work, the more strength is going to be happening here. But you got to be able to handle it, right? Your knees got to be able to feel okay. Make sure the knee isn't falling in. For some reason, it tends to want to do that. Think of using your adductors, press it out, and then can you see your toes? You don't want your knee going past your toes. And if that's happening, you probably need a wider stance. So you can take a step, yeah. All right? Nice adjustments, that's perfect. Shoulders are down the back, of course, right? The arms are reaching away from each other. And the gaze is over that right hand. Breathe. Straightening that right leg, lower the arms down. Right toe space cabinet wall, left toe space back wall. Float the arms up to 9 and 3. Bend that left knee and look over the left hand. warrior two on this side. Okay, so bending that left knee. That left knee is gently pressing out, and we're seeing our toes. The knee is not going past the toes. The front right leg is as straight as possible. And think of that quad, pushing into that hip socket. Check in with the shoulders, they're down the back. Yeah, nice adjustments, everybody. Straighten that left leg, lower the arms. Left toes facing cabinet wall, right toes facing mirror wall. Left hand on left leg, flip the right arm up, palm up, bend that right knee. First reach a little bit towards the mirror wall, and then find a side bend, elbow over the ear. This is called reverse warrior. You can have feather-like touch, left hand on left leg, or that left forearm can come to the small of your back. And what that does is requires more core. So hold that belly button in, lift up on the pelvic floor, beautiful. That's what's sustaining you. And that's actually how you develop strength in your lower back too, by the way. All right, reach for that right arm, straightening that right leg, lower that right arm down. Right toe facing cabinet wall, left toe facing back wall. Right hand on right leg, left arm extended, palm up, bend that left knee. First reach towards the back wall, and then find your side bend. Reverse warrior, elbow over the ear. You can keep feather-like touch, right hand on right leg, or forearm coming to the small of your back. Engaging that core. Breathe, find the breath. Reaching through that top arm, straightening that left leg. Okay, so left toes are initially going to face the cabinet wall, right toes face mirror wall. I'm going to do a slight adjustment with this foot. Have it come in a 45-degree angle. Have your hands on your hips and rotate them forward. And then just that change in that foot helps protect our lower back. Okay, warrior one. I'm going to bend this front right knee, energize the arms. Come into our warrior one. Feel that spiral effect coming up that back leg. Interlace the fingers, bring it behind the head. Thumbs can come to the base of the skull. Lift up there, and then think of the elbows pressing to the wall behind you. Open up that heart. Breathe. Warrior one, chest expansion. Bending that right, or straightening that right leg, release the arms. Right toe initially faces the cabinet wall, left toe faces back wall. All right, so let's take the right toes and just turn it in, slight turn, right? Hands on your hips. I like doing this just so I know where my hips are in space, right? Rotate them to the back wall, that left knee bends. First, energize the arms towards the ceiling. Interlace fingers behind the head. Maybe the thumbs go to that occipital ridge, face the skull. Lift up, elbows pressing the wall behind you. Feel that spiral effect coming up the back leg. Beautiful, everybody. Straighten that left leg, release the arms, and lower. Let's have the toes facing the cabinet wall in this nice wide stance. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Inhale, bring the gaze up. And exhale, fold forward. Wide angle, standing forward bend. And then if you like, lifting arms towards ceiling for the chest expansion. Maybe your goal is to get towards the ceiling. Maybe you got a very flexible chest, shoulder cavity, go past ceiling towards cabinet wall. You just find what's right for you. Check in Equal weight distribution on the feet, adding a little added stretch to the inner thighs. And always feel free to have a little bend in those knees if you need it, okay? We are slowly going to come out of this. Inhale, using those arms to help lift us back up. Beautiful. Let's bring our left foot to meet our right at the top of our mat. Breath center. Left toes will be facing the mirror. Right toes will be facing the cabinet wall. Now, slight change. Pat your heels in line with each other. Okay? Hands on hips. The hips are facing that gym wall. Triangle pose. We float the arms up to 9 and 3. Okay? Hold it there. I gotta move my guys here. So I add just a little extra step here to protect our lower back, okay? Once again, one of my pet peeves. Don't want you leaving with your lower back hurting. Let's shift our right hip to back wall, reach to the mirror, windmill the arms, just see where this hand lands, see what that feels like on your lower back. If there's any twinging, I'd like you to bend your knee, front knee, okay? Second part of the triangle pose is getting into this hip. So I just kind of always check out where my knee is. Can it rotate a little more towards the mirror? That might open up my hip a little bit more. And then the third part of the pose is bringing the gaze towards that outstretched right arm. If that bothers your neck, don't add that on, okay? You can look straight ahead. You can even look down. Don't force it, but that will help open chest, shoulder, and neck. Let's slowly come out of this. Reaching to the top fingertips, slowly come out. Let's have our left toes face the gym, right toes face the back wall. Float the arms up to 9 and 3. Shift the left hip to mirror, reach the back wall, windmill the arms, see where that hand lands, see how that feels on your back. If you can go deeper into that right hip, sink into the hip, and then if it feels okay to add the gaze up, add that on. Find your breath, don't force. And let's slowly come out of that, reaching to the top fingertips, slowly come out and lower. Let's have the right toes face the gym, left toes face the mirror. Revolving triangles next. If you know you like using a block, have that handy. Float the arms up, shift the right hip to back wall, reach to the mirror wall, windmill the arms for a triangle again. Now take the top right hand and come down maybe to your shin, maybe on a block, maybe you can touch your mat. Float the left arm up, maybe in line with your shoulder. Now, if long lever arm bothers your shoulder, place your palm on your sacrum, just worry about your rotation. Otherwise, fingertips or a hand should be facing the wall behind you, which is your cabinet wall. And then let's lower that arm down. Inhale, lift with the right, to come back out of it and lower back down. Let's have the left toes face the gym, right toes face the back wall. Float the arms up, shift, reach, windmill. Triangle pose, taking the top hand, left hand, maybe coming to your shin, maybe a block, maybe your mat. Float the right arm up, maybe in line with your shoulder, maybe you're resting your palm on your sacrum. Palm should be facing the cabinet wall. And how does it feel on your neck to try to gaze towards that outstretched right hand? Lower the right hand, inhale, lift with the left to come back out of it. Lower the arms down. Okay, one more. Let's have the right toes face the gym, left toes face the mirror, bend this front knee, forearm resting, bring the arm overhead, standing lateral bend. And we're going to do that core exercise, pulling belly button in. Think of lifting pelvic floor, squeeze the obliques center, float the bottom arm up with your next exhale, like you're holding a beach ball. 3 breaths here. So remember we did reverse warrior on that other side. We had to hold that suspension, right? Kind of the same idea, working that core. And then reaching through the top arm, I'm going to straighten the left leg, right hand on right leg, float the left arm up for reverse triangle. Reach the top of your fingertips and lower back down. Let's have the left toes face the gym, right toes face the back wall, bend that right knee, forearm resting, arm overhead, standing lateral bend. Get organized in your torso, and with your exhale, float the bottom arm up. Pretend you got a beach ball between those hands. 3 breaths. And then reaching through the top arm, straightening the right leg, left hand on left leg, float the arm up. To the top hand, lower back down. Let's have the toes facing the gym wall. And we're going to do another good chest expansion. We can have fingertips interlacing to change it up if you like. Hand to elbow, or it's called namaste behind the back, where the fingertips face the ceiling, kind of move up the spine as best you can. Inhale, bring the gaze up. And exhale, fold. Wide angle, standing forward bend with chest opening. Go ahead, inhale, lift back up. Release the arms. Bring your left foot to your right at the foot of your mat. And then we'll turn to face forward. And we're ready for our balance pose. All right. Great work, everybody. Hopefully your chest feels open today. We did a lot of chest openers, right? Okay. So we're going to do, it's kind of one of my favorite balance poses because there's so many levels and I really feel like everybody can find something to do. First of all, if you're just not sure of your balance, you'd like to be by a wall. I mean, even some days I just have one finger on the wall. It's just amazing how much it helps. And then you can always let go, right? So always feel free to do that. But finding a drishti, a focal point, and we've been talking about it all class. They translate the word. The word is bandhas in Sanskrit yoga. That means blocks. Belly button's pulling in, pelvic floor. I include those obliques. Everything's just squeezing tight, okay? But we're still breathing. All right, weight on this leg. Just float that right knee up. So it's going to be, it's called foot in hand, but guess what? It could be knee in hand or hamstring in hand. Okay, so maybe you're going to stay here. Maybe you can hold on to the knee. Maybe knee to chest, chest to knee, which might be able to grab the bottom of the foot and it out. Hence, just encourage you to be where you need to be, okay? Try that advanced, but this is still a great balance pose. It's a functional position, right? Step into our clothes in the morning, socks, whatever. And then gently release and bring that foot down. Weight on that right leg, find your focal point, float the left knee up. Maybe you're just going to hold on to your hamstring, maybe holding on to your knee. Maybe knee to chest, chest to knee, which might enable you to grab the bottom of the foot and extend the leg long. And then gently release and lower. Beautiful. Love to see all the options. Great job, everybody. If you've left your mat, come on back. Big inhale. Exhale, fold, standing forward bend. And let's go ahead and bend the knees a lot until you feel your abdomen resting on your quads. Hand to elbow,
behind your legs this time, or hand to wrist, okay? Forearms are resting on your calves. So with my next exhale, I'm just slowly gonna try and straighten my legs. Just go to the point where you feel this increased stretch in your hamstrings. But once again, get right between those shoulder blades again. Once again, try to breathe to move that rib cage. Bend the knees, release the arms, bring your knees down, and find your child's pose. Lots of options for child's pose. Knees can be together. I tend to like mine wide. Sit bones reaching towards heels. Forehead can be directly on the mat. That might not feel good on your neck. Maybe you need to stack your hands or use a block. Palms can be up on either side of the body. That's a little bit more intense on that third eye area. Might not like that. Maybe you want palms down, reaching overhead. That's probably the most common child's pose. I was trained to call that devotional, so I kind of throw that term in there. Find your breath. Get reacquainted. We're coming down on the mat. And then let's come up to all fours, and we're gonna work our back. This is one of, I do this a lot in class because I find it to be very beneficial. And I kind of try to vary it, okay? So we're gonna start out basic. And you can stay in the direction you're staying. I'm just changing my position so it's easier to see. Lift the right arm, and then lift the left leg. And so hold it there. First, think of those limbs lengthening away from each other, and then see if you can kind of tune into what's going on with your pelvis. You don't want the hip hiked up, you don't want it sagging. Try to get it balanced, and then pay attention to the limbs that are holding you up, right? So there's that strength going on. Let's lower those limbs down. Now lift the left arm and the right leg. And first, you're just lengthening. And then you're checking into a square pelvis, like you could balance a glass of water on your sacrum. And then just take notice of the strength that's going on in the opposite limbs. Lower those limbs down. Now let's move with the breath. On the inhale, I lift right arm, left leg. Exhale, I lower. And then vice versa, right? So if you find you're having trouble with the balance, reverse that breath, okay? Use an exhale to lift if you need it for balance. That will help you. Now, see, the reason why they call this a back exercise, see if you can feel the muscles that follow your spine contract. It's your erector spinae muscle group. So that's why they call it the back exercise. This is also our gait, everybody. It's the way we walk. Left leg comes forward with right arm, vice versa, right? All right, one more each side. Good, let's find devotional. Sit bones reaching back, fingertips reaching forward, stretch out that spine. And then coming back to all fours. And let's add on to that. So it's right arm, left leg lifting. Rotate out to the side. Make a T with those limbs. Bring it back center and down. And lift, rotate, center, and down. A few more times. Lift, rotate, center, and down. And lift, rotate, center, and down. So what you're trying to do is keep the torso totally stable. It's just that arm bone and that leg bone moving in the hip socket and shoulder girdle, right? So one more time. Lift, rotate, center, and down. And lift, rotate, center, and down. Beautiful job, guys. Let's come on our abdomen with the right ear down on your mat. Palms are up. Now, this is designed to be a neck stretch. If it feels too intense, it doesn't feel comfortable, that right forearm can come underneath that right ear, and that will make it a little less intense. If it still bothers you to turn that far, don't do it. Stack your hands and have your forehead on stacked hands. Never want you to force into something that doesn't feel right. Okay, and you can always tell that you're on the mat. Maybe take notice if there's one side a little tighter than the other. Chin on the mat. Hands come directly underneath your shoulders. We're coming into cobra pose. Zip those legs together, belly buttons in, pelvis pushing into your box. I'm going to hover the hands an inch or two off of my mat, and then think of reaching through the crown to head and just lift the chest, shining that heart towards the mirror wall. It's not a big lift, okay? Once you're there, can you think of squeezing the shoulder blades a little bit closer together, get a little bit more lift in that chest bone. Release the arms, right ear down on the mat, and breathe. Chin back on the mat, hands again underneath the shoulders. This time we're going to keep the hands down, but I'd like you to still lift from the spine. That last lift came from your upper back, your thoracic spine. Reaching through the crown of the head, shine that heart, just find that same spot you were in. And now put weight into your palms and see where you can go without strain. Hug the elbows in, shoulders down. Find that opening. Beautiful, everybody. Lower back down. Finish the neck stretch first. Left ear down on the mat. Press back in devotional. Stretch out the spine. Now we're going to come into our hip opener. And on Monday, I did do the half pigeon and sleeping pigeon. So I'm going to do figure 4 today. If you want to do, it's one of your favorite poses, by all means, do the half pigeon, sleeping pigeon. And otherwise, if you're following me, we're going to do figure 4 today, okay? And once again, I'm facing different than you, so it's easier for you to see. Okay, we're going to come on our back and just hug those knees in. Maybe rock a little bit side to side, giving the lower back a little rub. How about rotate those ankles? Rotate the other way. Now let's bring the right knee into your chest as you lower your left leg down towards your mat. So I'm just kind of hugging my knee and my hands are kind of on my shin, okay? And this is a classic lower back stretch. If you find yourself needing a lower back stretch, this is one that will get it. It also gets the hamstring. This just starts prepping us for the figure 4. Let's bring the right foot onto the left thigh, think pinky edge of the foot. And you have created a figure 4 with your legs. Think of pressing that knee down towards your mat. It's a supine figure 4. You do this standing, you do it seated on a chair. I find myself doing it on an airplane sometimes, guys. All right, so that starts the opening in your hip. Now lift the legs up in the air, needle the arms through. Can you interlace your hands against your hamstring of the straight leg? And then see if you can get your elbow against the inner thigh of the bent leg. And gentle pressure straight leg towards you. Gentle pressure, bent leg being pressed away from you with your elbow. And release. Bring your left knee into your chest, lower your right leg down. back stretch. And then bring that left foot to the right thigh. Pinky edge of the foot, press that left knee down towards the mat, beginning that opening in that hip, left hip. And then lifting the legs up in the air, needle the arms through, interlace against hamstrings, elbow on inner thigh, gentle pressure, straight leg towards you, gentle pressure, bent leg away from you. And breathe. Let's release, and we'll bring those knees into our chest once again. And we're going to find our bridge pose. So we'll bring our feet down to our mat. Think of bringing the heels in as close to the glutes as possible. You want equal weight distribution on the feet, but also equal weight distribution onto the shoulder blades, pressing into your mat. On your next inhale, peel your spine up and find your bridge. So you can choose to stay here with your arms at your side to go a little deeper into the bridge, a little more opening in the upper back. Interlace your fingers underneath the body, and you just do a one-time shifting of the shoulders under you. Just lifts, about maybe 2 or 3 more vertebrae in that upper back, thoracic spine. Arms energized towards your heels. Think of the pelvis pressing up, the knees reaching away, and then I think of hugging a yoga block between my knees. Bridge pose, opening up the whole front side of your body. Release the arms, roll the spine down. And let's bring those knees into your chest. We're going to find happy baby's pose. Easiest way to do that, you can wrap around the hamstrings, grab inner thighs, sacrum presses down, knees float wide. If you can grab somewhere along your shin ankle area, that'll make it deeper. If you can get the pinky edge of your foot, go for it. Sacrum presses down, let the knees float wide. Try to get a balanced, deep hip opener. Place the bottoms of the feet together, lower them down to your mat, hands resting on your inner thighs. It's called supine cobbler's pose. Just that gentle pressure on the inner thighs, coaxing those adductors to open up. Check in that the back isn't arching. I always kind of tend to do that. So just check in with that. Breathe. Hands coming to the outside of those legs. Guide those knees together to touch like you're closing a book. And we're ready for Shavasana. Maybe your knees are going to stay bent. Maybe you lengthen those legs. Palms are up. And we're finding that wonderful breath again. In through the nose, out through the nose. Let the breath be effortless at this part of the practice. Imagine as if you can direct that oxygen as it enters your body to flow all the way down to your toes, the balls of your feet, the arches, the heels, the ankles, and just let the feet fall heavy. Allow the oxygen to flow into your quads, calves, shins, knees, quads, hamstrings. Just let those legs fall heavy. Allow the oxygen to flow into the glutes, the small of your back, your lats spreading wide as the shoulders begin to release. Any tension in the abdomen subsiding as the chest opens and the shoulders just let go.
Allow the oxygen to flow into the biceps and triceps, elbows, shoulders, forearms, and into the fingertips. And allow the oxygen to flow up the back of the neck to around to a soft brow, soft eyes, heavy jaw, soft throat. Allow your body to bathe in that oxygen. Let it cleanse you. Almost sense that oxygen nourishing every cell of your body. And allow the oxygen to linger in areas of concern. Let it begin the healing process. Take notice how peaceful and relaxed you feel. And know that you got here just by recognizing your own personal breath. This is a wonderful gift that you can give yourself anytime you're stressed during the day. Now let's bring to mind that person we started our practice with. We are so grateful to have this person in our life. This is another tool we can use daily to regroup, reprioritize, de-stress by just taking a moment, making the choice to be grateful. Food for thought. What we once enjoyed and deeply loved, we can never lose. For all that we love deeply becomes part of us. That was written by Helen Keller. I'll say it again. What we once enjoyed and deeply loved, we can never lose. For all that we love deeply becomes part of us. With your next breath, wiggling fingers and toes. With your next breath, bringing your knees into your chest. Give them a good hug. Allow them to drop to one side as you slowly roll up to a comfortable seated position with your hands at your heart center. And the greeting in India, short translation, the light, the love and me, salutes and honors the light and love in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for coming.
And you guys, I'm going to have to shut off the recording and hope that it